The start of a new year means we have some incredible comics to look forward to as we do every year in this medium that we love so much. And I gotta say, I feel like both Marvel and DC are kicking things off with a bang, which is exciting for us because it means we get to have a great first Pals Pulls of the month. Welcome to Pals Previews, the show where we tell you what we are excited about this week in comics. So, what we're going to start off with is the docket for Pals Pulls this week. We're going to be talking about Absolute Superman #3, Batman 156, Deadpool and Wolverine #1, Ultimates #8, and Hyde Street #3. How do you guys feel
Deadpool,
about that?
Deadpool and Wolverine pulling out from the movie, huh?
Hell yeah.
A little late.
A little bit, but does have Percy on it. Those titles are exciting. It's a good strong week. The Ultimates plus Absolute Superman coming out, and a good selection on the poll for those of you who have yet to vote. Go check that out as well. But yeah, I think a strong start for sometimes otherwise weak week on occasion for certain years. It's holidays, people don't always go to the store, but this is starting out strong. Let get back to the store. Let's go. Comics are not over.
Yeah, DC and Marvel holding back, Absolute Superman and Ultimates to start off a brand new year is a big deal. It seems like there is no small weeks anymore in comics, which is a great thing.
Yeah,
And as much as I like Ben Percy stuff on Wolverine, and Ben Percy did some great Ghost Rider too.
Yeah.
Um, that Deadpool Wolverine is definitely something I'm excited for. But Ultimates is introducing the Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy with this issue.
That's right.
And I think one of the characters is the Ultimate Nullifier, according to the
Yes.
solicits, or like
Yes.
when it was announced. So, man, I've been missing the Guardians in general. So seeing what Dennis Camp could do with this versions, and I know Cosmo's in it. Man, I think I'm excited for Ultimates, and it's probably gonna be my pick of the week, which is probably gonna be no surprise to anyone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Tyler. When I look at this list, it's hard for me, to go anywhere but Ultimates for my pick of the week because it's always my pick of the week, pretty much. It's my favorite book. If you guys watched the end of year review show that we did, the Pally Awards, you'll find that that is my favorite book, and I don't think that's going to change in 2025. So I'm all in on Ultimates #8.
I think I'm gonna be all in on Superman. I've been enjoying the run, and I need a little bit more, but I feel like that's a good feeling sometimes, for the book. And if it's not this, and Ultimates is gonna knock my socks off somehow. But I wanna love Superman.
Sure, yeah, I totally hear that. Those are the books that we are definitely reviewing. But there's still one more book left to be decided. That's decided by you guys. Head on over to youtube.com/the community or slash the comics pals under the community tab and cast your vote for the last book that will make the first episode of Pals Pulls of the year. So on the docket for that, we have Two-Face #2. We've got Batgirl #3, Sam Wilson, Captain America #1, and The Atom Project #1, currently winning the poll. I wouldn't say I'm surprised by that,
Yeah,
but uh, I am going to argue a little bit for Sam Wilson, Captain America.
it's winning handedly. No, at the moment.
Atom Project is, yeah, by 17%.
That's the
Yeah,
one I probably I'm gonna read that no matter what, the Atom Project. But
yeah.
I am interested, especially with Mark Waid. There's a little tease on what that could be. The most recent issue of Justice League Unlimited. To see that book come to fruition is interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And the,
It,
the
go
creative
ahead.
team on that too, with John Ridley, Ryan Parrott, like strong choices. So I'm curious to see how that comes out into its own book, how that spins out now.
So that is Pals Pulls. But what about the honorable mentions? What about the book that we think we're going to love that's not necessarily on the show? I'm going to talk, I just teased it. I'm going to talk about Captain America, Sam Wilson, in this segment because I have a good feeling about this series. Now, yes, It definitely has all the smackings of a movie tie-in because on the cover you see Sam Wilson and you see Red Hulk. Those characters are going to share the screen in Captain America: Brave New World here, I think, in February. But ahead of that, we are getting this comic. It does feel like a movie tie-in, but the creative team is a real thing. Greg Pak, Evan Narcisse, two tremendous writers in their own respective rights. I'm excited to see them team up for this. And then on the art side, we've got Valentin Delandro, whose name I haven't seen in a while. Also Eder Macias. So this is a pretty exciting book. It's got Patriot on the cover. It's got Storm on the cover. So it's not just going to be Sam and Red Hulk. I really like this package, not just from a creative standpoint, but from a character standpoint. I'm excited to see what they cook up with this one.
I'm going to be checking that out as well, for sure.
It's a cool new mini. I feel like Pac exists well in that space, telling a cohesive story. So yeah, it's gonna be a cool pull.
My honorary mention is The Avengers number 22. This is written by Jed McKay. Art for and this one by Fareed Karami, who I'm not familiar with by name. Colorist Federico Blee. Letters by Corey Pettit. With a fantastic Villar Oshidi cover. Because the whole premise of this book is that the Avengers are going to an intergalactic auction, and Black Cat is there with somebody they did not expect. So this is Jed McKay bringing his girl Black Cat into his Avengers run, and I love Jed McKay's Black Cat. That run was such a surprise for me, and he has such a affinity to that character. So I'm kind of interested to see how he slots Black Cat into an Avengers book, which I can't remember happening at any point. So I'm excited for this. I like his Avengers run actually. I know we've kind of bagged on it a bit, but I've been enjoying it since I've been reading it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna shout out When I Lay My Vengeance Upon Thee. This is a Boom Studios book, and by Gus Moreno and Jacob Rebelka. If you look up Rebelka's art, really cool, kind of watercolory, digital, thin lines. So I'm very much drawn to the idea here and the imagery. I want to read a bit of the excerpt. Father Barrera is a disgraced priest haunted by his part in the tragic death of a child. As penance, he is exiled to the remote South American town of Puerto Cristina to apprentice under the enigmatic Father Stygian, controversial exorcist. Exorcists aren't normally trained in the Vatican, but Stygian has his own way of handling demons. So, got demons, a bit of religion, some potential for amends. There's elements here that really interest me, and all carried by the art. So I'm very excited to see what this looks like. I'm a sucker for horror stuff. So if this is in that line, then I'm there.
Damn, dude, I didn't see this on the list, so I'm really glad you shouted it out. I'm gonna be picking this up.
Nice, nice. Yeah,
You just
excited.
sold me. Hell yeah. We've got one last thing to do here, and that's the spotlight. Each week, one pal takes the spotlight to talk about any book they want, no holds barred. And this week, the spotlight falls on none other than Tyler.
Oh wait, I didn't even tell me this. Oh wait, yes you did.
Uh-oh.
So my pick is actually the. So I'm not fully through with this. I've only kind of just begun it, but I'm liking it so far. It is X-Men the manga remastered. It was just released back in November in print, which was almost impossible to get in print for decades at this point. So this is essentially a manga, not necessarily a retelling, but it's very much in the same vein of the animated series. The first issues start with Jubilation Lee, the Maul, Magneto, all the stuff that you would enjoy from X-Men 97-esque era in black and white manga. It very much feels like there's a lot of creative team on it. The first arc, I believe, is by Hiroshi Higuchi, who I think only did this from what I can tell. But it's almost like the art style is much more in the vein of like a Speed Racer. It's early manga, not really. Would X-Men be a shonen at that point in a way, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more like that art style. It's not, it's not Chainsaw Man. It's not One Punch Man. It's not really modern. It is of the '90s in terms of the art style. There'll be some images on here to see, but
Nice.
it's just really it's good. It's different. It's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not preachy, but it's like it's kind of hokey in the way it's written. It's very much like, oh, this is a remastering of X-Men the animated series in manga. Everyone's twirling their mustaches. It's very dorky in a way, but it's endearing. And it's outside of my wheelhouse while also being completely inside of it. In so much that it's X-Men and I love X-Men and I, bleed X-Men. But I don't read manga. Like literally I open this book and I'm like, where do I start? I always forget. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
She's like,
The
look,
back.
that looks like the end. Cable's already in this. No, that's not it. But then start from the back and I, got into it. And I was liking it. It looked really good. And it's like a good cool down read for me. This is, reading in my bed and I fall asleep and I'm okay with falling asleep to this. It's the worst reading comics for Pals Pulls. And I fall asleep because I'm like, oh shit, I'm behind. This is my cool down book after being pissed off after losing a game of Marvel Rivals, sit in bed, pick this up, open it up, and cool down with some X-Men manga.
Can you open that up? Can we see a little bit of that?
Yeah. It's I mean, I got a blurry filter on, but let's see if I can get into it.
There you go.
There's Beast.
Oh,
There.
wow.
I'll put the pages on the actual stream itself, but it very much is like classic manga, and it's like Professor X, Magneto, Beast. Beast gets imprisoned at one point. That dude is always getting locked up.
Something's happening.
It's the only thing that they do with him. He gets locked up.
He gets locked up. He does. He simps after a human, and he commits genocide. That's Beast as a whole. But yeah, it's a fun book. I recommend it. It just got. I think it was November. It was reprinted, and it's like a weird. It's not leather, but like it's like that hard plastic. It's like a soft cover hard plastic, so the
sure.
quality is there too. It's published by Viz Media. It's not even a Marvel book. So this is a company that knows how to do manga, publishing it.
All right. Nice.
I don't know, dude. I might need to get that. That's kind of cool in a way.
Like even the spine itself, it's just like it's got like a
Yeah.
good shelf porn feel to it,
The colors pop.
Yeah.
I never go for those big two manga, but that actually looks pretty cool.
And it was before manga was a thing in the West, or in the East rather, right? No, West, the West, yeah.
Yeah.
Where like we're trying to modern day, if there's a manga for Marvel or DC characters, it's trying to hit something, catch a fire, catch a spark from what manga is doing well. Like, no, this was just to do it back then. And in '98, I think is when it came out.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like literally right after the show got, canceled. It continued it did a manga version of it. That's good.
Early innovators.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't even know if they were innovating. They were just doing the show in manga format, which wasn't a bad thing.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That was a pretty cool spotlight, Tyler. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that and everything else we teased and touched on today on Pals Previews. We appreciate you guys watching. Tune in this Thursday for Pals Pulls to hear us talk about the books we teased earlier on. And I hope that you enjoy your week in comics. Take care, guys.
See you next week.